If you've closed 10 real estate wholesale deals within a year's time period and you're looking to do 20 next year, this episode is going to help you figure out how to test new strategies to grow your business. And if you're not doing that, listen in anyways, because you'll be able to see around the corner of what is to come, and you'll be able to avoid focusing on the wrong things. This is the podcast for 10xing your income and replacing your W-2 through wholesaling real estate, a proven business model for finding a rundown real estate deal, getting it under contract, passing it to an investor, and making a finder's fee. My name is David Lecko, and I created a process that's helped people close 10,000 deals in all 50 states over the last 7 years with the software platform DealMachine. And my co-host Ryan is going to introduce himself.
Yeah, my name is Ryan Haywood, and I started wholesaling in 2019 through a 30-day wholesaling challenge where I found my first deal and closed it in the first 14 days of the challenge. Since then, I've gone on to do over 400 wholesale transactions, and to this day, I have not gone back to a 9-to-5.
Congratulations to you. You bring a great amount of experience, Ryan, because you've done over 425 deals to this podcast, and you've even got a special surprise to help others that are just starting on their journey coming out June 4th, I believe. So everybody stay tuned for that. And with this one, enjoy the episode about how Ryan and I are experimenting to increase our deal flow right now. So Ryan and I have both been trying new marketing to find really great deals on single-family homes. So I tried the eviction list a few 10, 20 episodes ago. So I'm going to give you guys an update on that. And Ryan's been doing something. He's expanded beyond driving for dollars, which means looking for a rundown house and reaching out. He's doing something called 360 marketing. So he's going to tell us about that. So, Ryan, you've been in the game since 2019. And I've also been looking into buying off-market properties since 2017 is when I did my first deal. So we're always trying new things. And so a couple episodes ago, I told you, Ryan, I got the eviction list. It was hard to get. Mm-hmm. I actually had to request permission from my local government in Indianapolis, and it took about 5 months to get approved. And then I even had to pay the government for that as well. So I sent out my first batch of mail, and I was just looking in my DealMachine account. So I got this from the courts, and so then I uploaded it into DealMachine and sent out the classic postcard that says, "Is this your property? I'm interested in purchasing your property at, Harris Hill Avenue. I'd take it any condition. I can close quickly with cash. And if you're interested, please call or text me. Have a great day." Then it's got my phone number and my email. So I sent that to about 1,242 leads, and I got 2 texts and I got 2 calls. So far, no motivated sellers yet. So I was actually surprised. I thought this was going to be a heavier hitting list, but just because it's so hard to get, and I also thought if they've had an eviction, they might be frustrated, right? So I'm going to still market to it, because with any good marketing, I think you need to reach out at least 6 times, right? You can't just send it one time and be done with it. So that's my test. And in order to run this test, I'm probably in $600 so far. And every time all those postcards go out, they're going to cost about 45 cents. So that's my update. So Ryan, why don't you tell me what you're trying new?
Yeah, so everything that we have done thus far with our marketing strategy has been based off of driving for dollars. That's how we get all of our leads. And we go out and drive for dollars to add the leads, and then we stick them in our direct mail campaign. And that has been, for the most part, all that we do with them. What we wanted to try differently with what we call the 360 marketing strategy is a little bit more refined. While you're out there driving for dollars, there's just more steps. So you're out there, you see a house that would qualify for a driving for dollars lead. The very first thing we do is we get out and we go and knock on the door first. If you're able to get the person to answer the door, that's great. You're there. You're right there talking to them. It's a great opportunity to say, hey, we like the character of this home. We're interested to see if you'd be open to getting an offer on it. And then you just carry that conversation from there. If they say no, no big deal, no harm, no foul. But if they say yes, you're right there in front of them. You're at the house. You can have an appointment right there on the spot. If they don't answer, we've created door hangers, which are very just plain, has our logo, has a phone number, that we're interested in buying the house, and we leave that. But before we go to the next house, we open up the DealMachine app, we get the phone number, and we try to call them. Okay, so that's technically 3 touch points. You've knocked on the door, you've left a door hanger, now you're attempting to call them. So you attempt the call, and again, if they answer, that takes you to a whole different point of that call. If they don't answer, you leave a voicemail asking them to call you back. Again, look in DealMachine. If they have phone numbers that you can send a text to, you send a text message on the same property. We're talking one property. We've gone through 4 different steps. On the conclusion, if they aren't responsive to that, which they may respond hours later to a text, but the last thing that you do on the 360 marketing strategy is you send a postcard. Now, the chances are some of these leads are already in DealMachine if you've driven for dollars in a market already. So what we like to do, we go and we look at what piece of mail we sent first, and then we send them a different version of a mail. So if I send them a postcard, the next thing I'm going to do, or the conclusion of the 360 strategy, is sending them a handwritten letter. So now I'm trying a different version of direct mail that might get their attention a little bit better. And then we move on to the next house. The cool thing, and what we just recently discovered, is we can set up statuses in our DealMachine to put 360 marketing complete. So now I can actually track how many of these have I actually done, and the results of how many of those are actually getting closed through that marketing strategy. So it's still very heavy in the driving for dollars strategy, but you're just getting more touches on each singular account.
Got it. And what were you doing for the past 5 years?
Yeah.
Before you tried this new thing?
Yeah, most of all that we were doing, we'd drive for dollars, and then we just direct mail. We'd start the mail campaigns, and we'd keep them, and we would recycle the mail campaigns every 3 months. So we send out a postcard, see what comes in from that postcard, and then in 3 months we recycle that list. But that's all we were really doing. We haven't been heavy in cold calling, haven't been heavy in texting. And yeah, that's all we were doing, and it's worked. But once you start getting to a point where something is working well, but you want to try to build on the momentum that you already have a ton of leads in your system. So now it's like, well, now we can try different types of touches and see if we can get responses out of them.
Hey guys, if you know you want to quit your job in the next 3 months, make sure you're subscribed to this podcast, because we've got some incredible frameworks with step-by-step instruction that you're not going to want to miss. Also, leave us a rating and review to let us know your favorite parts and why you want to get financial freedom.
What inspired you to try something new 5 years in?
In our market, like there's a few different people wholesaling now. So we're not the only ones. So for me, I want to differentiate myself from everyone else. So if everyone else is doing direct mail and I'm one of a few, then to me, the next step is go out and be boots on the ground, knock on these doors and let people actually see us in person and have actual conversations in person for the first time. And so for me, it was just like, hey, if there's competition, we need to be a little bit more aggressive about being visible and making sure that we're touching these attempts of points of contacts more aggressively, not just sending a postcard and waiting for them to call back, but being a little bit more aggressive on how we get a hold of people.
Got it. So I know for my new thing that I'm trying, I'm potentially going to be throwing away, $3,000 if I spend $600 to send mail to all these properties and then do it, 6 times. So I would say if you're brand new, just stick with what's proven to start with, right? Keep it simple. Focus on one thing. So that would look like probably driving around looking for rundown homes and either door knocking or calling them all or sending a postcard to all of them at least 6 times. And I'd recommend doing that because if you're brand new, I don't want you to try and experiment. I want you to actually do what's proven so that you get a deal fast enough that you stay motivated and excited to do it again. So experimenting is definitely something you should do once you're advanced and you're looking to grow. And so if you notice, Ryan didn't do anything new for like 5 years because he continued doing what actually worked. And it's so hard to stay focused like that, but it's critical that you continue doing what actually works. If you're just starting out, that you replicate something that's worked well. And so, Ryan, how much is the 360 marketing costing you? I guess you're buying extra door hangers. I like that. That's probably not too expensive. Is there any other cost with that? Or?
No, not really. I mean, the DealMachine account allows us so many points of contact, potential points of contact. We have their phone numbers. We have the ability to text them and call them from that. That doesn't cost us anything. Postcards are, fairly cheap. The door hangers, we bought a bulk of like 400 door hangers, and it was like maybe a couple $100. Like it's not the expense at this point. We've got consistent deal flow coming in. But if this can generate even 2 or 3 more deals per month, it pays for itself. So it's not a huge expense. Time is probably the most quantity of what you're using is going to be your time, because you're going to be spending more time on one house, going and physically door knocking it, and then going through the process of calling and texting and then sending out another mail piece. So you're taking more time on each one. But time will tell. Once we have built the consistent flow and a certain number of these that we're doing every month, and we can start tracking how many more deals we're getting from this, then it'll give us a proven method. What we do know is that a lot of times it takes multiple touch points to get someone's attention. So for us, knowing that we've only been one-dimensional through direct mail off of Driving for Dollars leads, this is giving us the opportunity to hit more touch points and still using the leads that we've built through Driving for Dollars. So the list is still very unique to us. These are our leads that we've added based off of criteria that we look for. You're just more in their face. You're just knocking on their door. You're leaving material in addition to the postcards that are going out. You're leaving another piece of material on their door. But then going through the process of trying to call and text them. So I don't think there's a gigantic increase in what you're going to spend, other than you're going to spend more time.
Okay, got it. So would you recommend your 360 marketing strategy for somebody who's brand new?
No.
Okay, got it.
No, I think that brand new, you have to stick, just to your point, you have to stick with something that works. Driving for Dollars has worked for me for 5 years now. So to me, there's no way I would ever recommend, hey, this is what you should do. Honestly, if you were to try to do 360 marketing early in your game, it's going to suck because you're only getting a few touch points. It's going to take you a whole day to do 50 houses. Whereas you can go on Drive for Dollars, you can add 250 leads in a day, 500 leads in 2 days, and then you're getting massive amounts of postcards out, which is what you want in order to get those deals to start coming in. Something that hopefully everybody heard, we already have consistent deal flow. Once you have consistent deal flow, then you can actually start evolving your strategies. But you don't want temporary success to get confused or mask itself as sustainability. You need to build your sustainability first.
Right. So I'll leave you guys with this. If you're brand new, I'd suggest driving around your neighborhood looking for rundown homes, and you can expand your neighborhood to your city and surrounding areas. But you're looking for any homes that look rundown. You want to add about at least 500 of those, and then you want to reach out at least 6 times, whether it's cold calling or whether it's direct mail. You have to do enough times reaching out, because those houses have been run down for a while. They're not going to just want to sell to you just because they get your postcard. You need to do it a few times so that when something in their life happens where they need to sell that quickly and urgently, you're the solution that's right in front of them. And so that's the simplest way to get started. And so we'll leave you guys with that. And I hope for any of you guys more advanced listeners, this might inspire you to try something new. So with that, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.